Okay, in this video, we're going to be looking at navigating around a Microsoft Word 2007 or 2010 document. The name of this file is called W03A Green Business. And, and the name of the file will always be at the top of the actual sheet. And it's showing that it's a Microsoft Word document. Now, in the newer version of Word, be it 2007 or 2010, they created this concept of tabs. The tabs are running across the top here. I'm going to quickly look at each of the tabs. First tab here is the Home tab. We're in that right now. Home tab is right here. And in the Home tab, what you have are mostly formatting options. There's various buttons that allow you to format your document. Once again, Home tab. Some of these examples are bold. In other words, you can select by highlighting an area. And then by clicking bold or B, it will make everything bold. Click it back again, and it reverts back to the way it had looked. And once again, you get your mouse and hover over any of these icons, and Microsoft Word will tell you exactly what the button will do. This I is for italic. Click it again, we're back to the way it had looked. U is underline. Next, what we're going to do is quickly look at the idea of fonts. Once again, this is all within that Home tab. We have a group of fonts that we can choose from. Currently, we're using the Calibri font. However, you can hit this down arrow and choose another font. Arial Black, Arial Narrow. I'm going to go with that one right now, Arial Narrow. We have the ability here to choose or change the size of the font, right in this box here. Make it 12 point. We can make it 10 point. Now once again, the steps always being is that you highlight the area that you want to format. You have to tell Microsoft Word what parts of the document you want to change. So you do that by, first off, highlighting the area, and then coming up here and pressing one of the buttons. Still some other buttons of note. Grow font means to make the font larger. So if you click it once, it gets bigger and bigger. Right next to it, there's another one called shrink the font or make it smaller. Click it once, twice, smaller. We have the ability to change the text effects by clicking here. We can choose what type of effect we want to use. Once again, by hovering over the letter here, you can see it changing. And by clicking, that will be the effect. Still other things, and we're going to be getting into this in a short while, is the ability to add bullets, numbered bullets. We can align the text either to the left, center it, or align it to the right, or justify it. Still, another very important button is this idea of line and paragraph spacing. By clicking the down arrow, we can change the spacing. Currently it's 1.15. It can be 1.5 to 2 to 2.5. We can shade an area. We have the ability to draw borders around an area. And there's also numerous styles that you can choose for the entire document. The default is customarily normal. If I want to just reset all my formatting, I can click over here and come over and click on Clear Formatting. Next tab is the Insert tab. And within the Insert tab, some of the things that you can do is insert a new blank page, create a page break. Something that we're going to be looking at later is the ability to create a table. We can also insert a picture or clip art into our document. On top of that, we can add various shapes and also smart art graphics. We can insert a screenshot into our document along with hyperlinks. Insert many times is used to put in a header or a footer. Also text boxes. And then quick parts, which we will look at later in the lesson. Next tab is page layout. Quickly here, page layout primarily has to do with printing, or how the document is going to look like when you're either viewing it on a screen or as a printed object. You have the ability to change the margins, the orientation. Right now it's in portrait, but of course you would have the ability, if needed, to change the orientation to landscape. We can take a document and make it into a newsletter by clicking the columns. We can insert watermarks into the document, which is basically background pictures. You can change the page color and also the borders surrounding the document. We have the ability to change our indentation and also the spacing. Next tab is References, so let's click on that. And for references, very important tab has to do with the ability to create a research paper. Many of these buttons right here have to do with creating a research paper. Also, the ability to create a table of contents. Next tab is Mailings. And with mailings, the various icons have to do with mail merge or creating mail labels. The tab for Review has to do with spell check, a thesaurus, word count, tracking our changes. But one of the big things most commonly used, spelling and grammar check. The View tab, once again, how that document is going to show on a page. The ability to work with multiple documents. We will look at that later. Very important, the idea of showing the ruler. And lastly, we have the Developer tab. Many of these buttons deal with creating macros. So let's go back to that Home tab, which is where we're going to be in the beginning of this class. And we're going to click a few of our buttons to get us going. Once again, we're working with the file W03A Green Business. One of the first things you want to do is come up here where it says Show and Hide. What this does, it will show the various formatting or some of the formatting that you have applied to the document. It will show paragraph breaks, spaces in between words. It will also show tabs. So this is very important. I always begin my documents by clicking on this button, Show and Hide. Click it once. And what we're going to see is that we have markings here which basically signify a new paragraph at the end of this point. Still, another thing that we want to do, get into the habit of, is to show our rulers. And how you do that is by coming over here and clicking on this button where it says View Ruler. You see your ruler is showing up on top here and also to the side. This is very helpful in setting up our tabs or tab stops. This is a toggle switch, so you can click on it once and it disappears. Click on it again, it will reappear. Still, another way of showing that ruler is by clicking on the View tab. Once again, the ruler is currently showing, and making sure that you have a check mark next to ruler. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a header. Okay, that's going to be showing our page numbers and also our name. Quickest way to insert a header is by clicking on the Insert tab, Header button, click that down arrow. I like to go down to Edit Header. It brings you up to the header itself. We now have the ability to add a page number, an automatic page number. Hit this down arrow, go to Current Position, and you have all types of ways of showing that page number. I'm going to use a plain number. I'm going to hit the tab once, the tab key, brings us over to the middle, and I'm going to just enter my last name. And then click outside of the header, and this is very important. Click outside of the header, and if we come down to the end of the document, we can see that we have now numbered our pages. This is our second page, also with our name.